BK's in the house this week. What? BK's in the house. There he was. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. Surprise, it's Tuesday, and I'm not Will Schick. I let that linger just a little too long. It was awkward. Today we're ponying up. We're ponying up. We're going to pony up a M.O.D.O.K. We're going to paint up a M.O.D.O.K, Scientist Supreme, because he's super dope, super cool, and super fun, and I absolutely adore this sculpt. I'm going to be painting him up today. It's going to be a lot of fun. And honestly, I don't really have a plan for him, which is typical for me. I have a bunch of paints out. I think we could do something fun and weird. Maybe do like pallid skin tone, like more. I don't want to use the word zombie, but like a little sickly and pallid might be kind of fun and interesting. We could go darker or something like that. So while I'm getting set up, while we kick it over to that mini cam, why don't you throw out what you want, how we want, should we want to paint M.O.D.O.K, Scientist Supreme. I'm going to pretend like I'm mixing some colors here. I'm not really. Yeah. Okay, we're going to unplug real quick. Hold on. We fixed it. You turn it off and turn it on again. And that's why IT is IT. We're kind of like IT because we just fixed it. Okay. Today's a Marvel Crisis Protocol stream, so we're going to be talking about Marvel Crisis Protocol, talking about M.O.D.O.K, Scientist Supreme. As you can see, M.O.D.O.K fools, M.O.D.O.K will rule you all. Shatterpoint will be after Adepticon, as we've said. I think let's go with the pallid skin tone. What do you think? So I'm going to mix a little. Oh, I'm not on the camera. Is that better? So I got a couple different flesh tones. A little blue, a little gray. This color right there. This nice little wonderful warm brown flesh tone. I want to make something a little pallid. And we're going to start painting his face. We're going to start on his face, see where we can get today. How much can I paint a M.O.D.O.K in a single hour? Cliff Jumper. I love the new sculpt. Yeah, I love this new sculpt. Being able to kind of explore from time to time, right? What is possible with the character? What's possible with the material? Is always interesting. Being able to take what you've done in the past and expand upon it. And create new iterations. And M.O.D.O.K is such an interesting character because it's not like he has a lot of versatility as from a posing standpoint. So being able to kind of explore and see what we can do is always fun and interesting. This pose came out of a doodle, actually a really long time ago. A really, really long time ago, actually. And so going back and kind of exploring that character again, a lot of fun. You have no clue who M.O.D.O.K is. Oh my. M.O.D.O.K's been in quite a few pieces of media lately. If you played the Avengers video game, the new movie, there's a cartoon. There's so much M.O.D.O.K to explore and learn about. Let's make a hair color. I'm going to desaturate that a little bit with our gray. So, Jimmy DeHaan, so pumped for Adepticon. Can't wait to see all the worthy entries. You and me both. I'm stoked. I cannot wait to see what everybody brings to the worthy. I try to avoid seeing what people are working on social media because I don't want to have like any knowledge beforehand of what's being worked on or who's working on what or anything. I like going in very blind and seeing all the entries fresh, live, in person, and just kind of letting myself get wrapped up in what the artist was trying to bring to life and the storytelling options that they're trying to bring to the Marvel Crisis Protocol narrative and world. So I'm super excited to just kind of set back and let these wonderful artists, painters, and hobbyists show up at Adepticon and present their work and take them in and just enjoy them for what they are. And then give one of them just the Odin trophy, because then I get to live vicariously because I never get to own the Odin trophy myself. So happy someone gets to have it. Who is voting on the pieces? Are we talking about the worthy? I think do we have articles coming for the judges? I don't remember. Is the person who would know listening to the stream? Can I say who the judges are? I mean, tomorrow will be a better day to talk about the worthy. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, teaser, spoiler, like and subscribe, smash that button. I'm just a mess. We're hoping to have judges profile. I still need to take a picture of myself. I keep forgetting I'm supposed to take a picture of myself. Dallas, if you were entering the competition, what miniature would you just have to do out of all the MCP? At Nighthawk Studios, if you've been paying attention, I've been working on my, what I call the faux worthy entry, because I'm not allowed to enter, because that'd be unfair. But I've been working on a worthy entry myself. I need a little purple. I need a little touch of purple. I've been working on a faux entry, and it's a Spider-Man versus Green Goblin diorama. If I was picking a single character to enter, it'd be hard pressed to not choose Thanos for myself, but I don't know if that's who I'd actually choose. Oh man, it's tough. It's I don't think I can just say a character. This character X, right? It's that what's inspiring to me right now. What do I have a story? Like the story is the most important part. The worthy's design to allow people to kind of tell their story and their individual, and that's it. It's a very vital and important part of the judging. So I don't think I could just say, yes, I would absolutely choose X character. I just don't have a story for anybody immediately, mainly because I've been working on this Spider-Man M.O.D.O.K. So they're kind of fresh in my head, and that's kind of where I'm stuck. Not stuck. Stuck's a terrible word, but like that's where my brain space is, right? So I don't know if I have a story. I do have a Wolverine diorama in my head, but I don't know if I would enter it in the worthy, the diorama itself, sort of what I have envisioned. I don't know if it's a worthy entry, and that's okay. Not every piece of art has to be for competition. Sometimes they're just for yourself. You know, it's just for, sometimes it's just for yourself. And the Spider-Man one or the Wolverine one I have in mind is for myself. I would not enter it in the worthy. I wouldn't enter it in any painting competition because the story I have in my head is not for anyone else. I mean, not saying you can't see it and enjoy it, but I don't need it to be judged. I'm not trying to say anything with it. So what would I choose? Immediate answer is I don't know. I don't know. So we've added a little red. Uh-oh, what'd I do?
Oh, nothing. I think we're clipping our mic, so I'm gonna.
Is my foot on it?
That's what I was getting. That's what I wanted to check on.
Who'll be at the Adepticon entering the worthy here? Yeah, who's coming? Give me a sound off. Don't tell me what you're working on. Who is going to come hang out, catch me at the booth, catch everybody from Atomic Mass who is coming, say hi to us, come check out all the like little bits of information that we'll be dropping over the weekend. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Rocket Lockjaw combo would be awesome. Playerification is coming. Quick Beam. Jimmy, like it's the worthy's not necessarily also. It's a competition, not just against others. It's the primary focus of the worthy is a competition against oneself. So we give out gold, silver, and bronzes for individual merit. There's no first, second, and third. There's gold, silver, and bronzes, and that might mean if everybody enters who deserves a gold, they're going to get a gold. Everybody who enters that deserves a silver is going to get a silver. Everybody who enters that deserves a bronze will get a bronze. So it's designed for improvement and competing against oneself. But that being said, if you don't want to enter, do not enter. Every miniature has a destiny. Every painter has a goal. We're all on different points of the same path. And if you're like, you know what, I'm not interested in competition, there's nothing wrong with that. Competition is not for everybody. It can bring out the best and the worst in us. Miniature painting competitions definitely is what kind of drove me to become the highest level painter I can be. So, like I said, it can be the best and the worst of us. Look at these eyebrows. Quantity's awesome. Oh, I can't talk about my Ultimate Dream Rival set. Can't talk about those things. Anything I say could be a reality. I will take home the patch. See, Sir Karai, I am way too shaky for any competition, but I still paint a lot due to the way it just makes the world a better place for a lot. You know what? That is the best reason to paint a miniature, is for joy and bringing light and joy into the world. And I respect and honor that philosophy. The best, I'm a shaky painter too. I've learned a lot of techniques about ergonomics to kind of reduce that. We should do an ergonomics video, Summer.
Let's, I think we should unplug your mic real quick and then plug it back in again.
Okay, we're gonna unplug the mic and plug it back in.
Just do little pop noises.
Look.
Little poppy pops. Is this coming down now?
Yep. Try that.
Thank you.
Test, test, 1, 2. Can you hear me now? It's worse? My, oh my. We're gonna unplug again.
Sorry, chat.
Where's that cord go to? Where's this one go to?
Still buzzing. That's weird.
Tony's here though. Tony, it's buzzing. What do you want to do?
I want to use this one.
We're gonna switch mics. We're switching mics.
All right.
Noise, noise. How's that? We're good now? Who's getting a haircut? I don't know what's going on, chat. There isn't any buzz. That's the stuff. No buzzing, no worries. Sup, sup. I have no idea if any questions were asked. Please, by all means, re-ask your questions. We just added green to our base flesh tone, and we're going to start shading with that over top of the red. Why does neither M.O.D.O.K have flight? I don't know. Why not? Game balance. A little green over top of that red. Turns a little brown. Just using that to tone everything down and shade. That flight wouldn't help him with the short move. Like, flight, I guess, has interaction with tactic cards, but like, I mean, it's, we're playing in the Marvel Crisis Protocol world. So I don't know if it's necessarily necessary. little highlights. And then we're going to kick up the contrast one more time. I do love the constantly evolving dynamic poses of the MCP miniatures. Yeah! Nighthawk gets it. It's always good to explore and push and grow. We've never been shy about saying, we're learning and growing. Hard plastic production is a very interesting and unique production style, and it's not intuitive. And from the outside, you might see something and be like, why would you ever do this? And from the inside, we're like, because literally there's no other way. Like, there's just literally no other way. But until you have that, like, in the chair knowledge, it's hard to explain it. So we've always wanted to grow, expand, learn, develop, push, adapt, and just make better, do better miniatures. Look how pale and angry he is. Squirrel girl. Do people paint Marvel Crisis Protocols one-offs or squads? Oh, it's a great question. I've done both, where I kind of have a baseline what my Marvel Crisis Protocol looks like. But also, I've done whole squads. If you go back and look, like, 2 years ago, probably, BK? We did that, like, me and Schick did a Marvel Crisis Protocol, like, roster in 1 month.
Yeah, that was probably 2 years ago.
And then we did, at the same time, me, Schick, Pagani, and John did Legion in the same month. Like, we did a slow grow of Legion in the same month.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
I painted so many miniatures in a month. Painted so many miniatures in a month, and those were very themed. So, like, I themed that month, all those Crisis Protocol miniatures in 1 month were very, very themed. And then, but like typically, I kind of make all my Crisis Protocol like kind of in the same vein of themselves. It was before summer, which we don't talk about the time before summer,
At least 2 years ago, then.
because it was a dark and sad time. That's literally how atomic mass time dating works. It's PS and AS, pre-summer and after summer, or before summer, pre-summer and after summer. Yeah, that's it. Just gonna keep darkening with a little more sanguine and purple. Taking my time, and I'm making him look real, kind of grody. I want him to feel a little sick, so I'm really gonna make those cheeks feel sallow. We want to avoid as much like warm red. We want these like cool reds. go. Question. Question about the worthy Adepticon. Is more weight given to those who paint their miniatures on plinth backgrounds for display only over those who build on a base meant to allow the piece to still be played with? If you're painting a miniature to be played with, then you're not painting it for competition. That's just a fundamental philosophy. If you know you're not painting it, if you know you're painting it to be played with, then it is to be played with. Every miniature has a destiny, and you choose that miniature's destiny. So if you enter into the worthy, and you're like, this is my miniature that I play with, you've kind of already set some parameters for yourself as what that miniature is and how it's going to be received. Even if you don't say that out loud, right? If you're entering a paint competition and you want to win the overall trophy, are you mad at me?
No.
Are you mad at me?
Loving M.O.D.O.K's little tiny feet.
His little feet.
We'll be.
If you enter a painting competition and you want to win it, so we have to already establish you're entering the painting competition because you want to win it. Okay. And you have not chosen to put in the hours that somebody else has chosen to put in. Like, you have to understand, like, that person who put in those hours, they've already increased their chances because they've gone over it, they've done more, they've constructed and thought out and spent time from a technical aspect building it up and creating that piece. Now, I'm not saying you can't win. By all means, there's painters out there that could paint in ketchup and they would probably still win because they're just that good. I'm just saying, philosophically, if you're not painting for the competition, then you're not painting for the competition. Not saying you have to have a display base, but if you're not painting it for the competition, if I'm going to put in, you're going to paint in how many hours are you putting in your miniature, right, for your tabletop? I try to put in under 3 for my tabletop. But if I'm painting for a competition, I'm going for that 200 hour, 300 hour, 600 hours. Like, there's painting competitions where people literally have put in 600 hours or 1,000 hours. If you're putting 50 hours into a game piece, that's pretty impressive. I can't even imagine putting 50 hours into a gaming piece. So I'm excited to see that. I want to put in 3. I painted my OG M.O.D.O.K with frosted tips. He's the kind of guy who do it. You know what? I love it. The criteria for judging is going to be on individual merit. I can only look at what you did. I can't judge you for what you didn't do. But if you read the rules, you're going to see narrative, storytelling, technical aptitude, consistent application of technical aptitude, right? Man, there's nothing worse than looking at a miniature and you're like, why did you not just take the time for this to just kick it up a notch? Like, if you just would have spent if you would have done the same technical level on this element as you did on all the other elements, you would have tied it together better. So what I'm saying is I'm really judging on what you do and what you present. And what you present is your choice. I feel like if they get the royal treatment, if you're going to spend 50 hours, put that sucker on a display. Put it on like a little display. Show that off. 50 hours is a lot of time to be putting on something that's going on a table. But that's all subjective. Summer, I feel like you're talking bad about me right now. Summer's speaking ill of me, she said. So this is like a burnt umber and a bit of sanguine. Yes, the person has to be present to win. 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts. If I call your name for the own trophy and you're not there, I'm giving it to somebody else. Summer, what would you paint if you were entering the worthy? Summer, the people want to know.
Probably something to do with some X-Men.
Not a bear?
You know what? I've used the beer for quite a bit lately, so I will do some X-Men.
I'm going to kick up the highlights. Does he look nice and pale? Oh, he's got some freckles. Let's lean into some freckles. Shall we learn how to paint freckles today? Oh, Anne would do Moon Knight with a sculpt on top of a ruin. Love it. All awards, you must be present. And the person entering must be the person who painted it. Just kicking up the highlights. Are we doing freckles or not? I didn't catch. I don't think we've ever done freckles on stream, so. He's got the most kissable lips. Lots of little highlights. I'm just doing like lines and dots. Once we get all this on here, we'll do some freckles. It's been a while since I've done freckles, so let's hope I remember how to do it. Especially on lips, we want lines. I feel like M.O.D.O.K has chapped lips. Mainly because he can't reach them with chapstick. Too tiny hands. All right, one more level of highlights. I love the base on last year's Captain America. How do you consider making bases for future releases? A lot of that just comes down to like, sort of when we get the character on the schedule, we start looking at what the sort of design doc is of the character. And then we look at what costume. And then we start drawing a pose. And the poses are, you know, you want to capture the character or really try to present them in like a fun and interesting way, right? So that's like a huge part of it. And, you know, sometimes that just means you have a pose or an idea and it just sort of works out that you need a new base to really sell the concept. Like that Captain America is in a very unique place compared to the core box Captain America in his sort of Atomic Mass Marvel Crisis Protocol story. So we wanted to capture that, you know. Things like the Hulk, once again, it just becomes very much like that was just necessary for the pose. And it just kind of blew up a little bit. So it's all about just kind of working individually as an organic sort of process. We like to very much work organically. Sort of take characters for what they are and develop the idea and the philosophy of the character as we go and sculpt. And try to always just stay fresh and nimble, right? Don't get locked in, it has to be this and it has to be this. Oh, look at him now. Like I said, we very much work organically, developing the ideas. It's super important to the way we kind of work. Um, so you just kind of never know until you're working on something. And then, sometimes you get complete done with a sculpt and you're like, you know what? This just needs this, and you kind of get the whole team together and you kind of discuss it. Like, well, what does this mean? How do we do this? What do y'all think? I like to always try to say, what do y'all think? Like, let's have a conversation. Yes. Oh, that's a good question. Did I miss that?
Oh no, that's just a curiosity for me.
Yeah. M.O.D.O.K, he has such a huge, like, this is his character, right? He's kind of just a big face. Such a prominent area. And, okay, here we go. We always talk about, so there's 2 T's in painting miniatures. There's the first T is from the belly button to the forehead and shoulder to shoulder. And the second T, and then the cross of that T is, I said shoulder to shoulder. And then the second T is from chin to forehead and temple to temple. And so what that does is create focus. So your first T, belly button to forehead, shoulder to shoulder, is your first area of focus. And all your contrast and eye should be drawn there. And then your second T, from temple to temple and forehead to chin, is your second T. And that, you take the contrast, you take the focus, and draw it even further there. M.O.D.O.K is all T. He's nothing but T. And so you have so much focus. Like the average crisis protocol miniature's head is 5 millimeter. And M.O.D.O.K is literally, 50 millimeters of head. So you really want to spend some time and focus, and you can do techniques and you can do things on M.O.D.O.K that you just can't with other miniatures. Like we're gonna put freckles on him. We're gonna do freckles. I got 15 minutes. That's plenty of time. So I really think it's a different idea and philosophy, and you can really get in there and do some fun stuff with characters like M.O.D.O.K, who is just not, it's almost like painting a bust, honestly. It's almost like painting a bust. It's just nothing but noggin. Yeah, my faces and bases theory is really put to the test on M.O.D.O.K, right? It's like when you look at somebody, you're talking to them, where do you look? You look in their eyes, right? So when you're looking at a miniature, you should paint it to where you literally just draw into the eye. So you want to paint the miniature up to that second T so the eye gets drawn there. And then the base grounds them and puts them in a place. It gives them life. It gives them a story. It gives them narrative. You can customize your base. You can cover your MCP bases with space rocks or, World War II, like rubble. Like, you can do anything you want. These bases are blank in my eyes. So you can really explore and do some fun stuff. And it's very, very important to tell that story. So you need a face to draw the eye, so you can connect to the character, and you need a base to ground them and root them in the universe. So M.O.D.O.K offers such interesting ideas for all this. He's just a giant face that you really want to draw, give a lot of attention to, but then you need that base also. Yeah, right now his eyes are black. I always paint eyes the same way. I start with black, I add white. He's probably going to get pupils, sclera, veins, the whole nine as we go forth. I'm trying to get through everything on the face today. I only got 15 minutes or so I'm working my best here, kids. Use a little red, a little brown, and make some nice gross gum wash. We're gonna stain those teeth. He's a coffee drinker, and he always puts off that dentist appointment. You know. He always wants to go to the dentist, but he's just there's never enough time with all this world taking over, BK. Oh, can you imagine 1950s teen M.O.D.O.K with one of those head braces? Like like one of those like cages? Yeah, that's why he's so mad. Like, you guys made fun of me all through high school. Player, there's one thing I am unbribable. 100% unbribable. There's nothing you can offer me. Literally nothing in the world you can offer me. All right, let's do freckles. This is how I do freckles. Retainer 4 miles long. My M.O.D.O.K is going to have just eaten spinach. Gross. Super gross. Okay, so I'm going to take some super watery paint. I'm going to put a little tiny dot. Then I'm going to use a second brush. I'm going to touch the center of that dot. And it sort of pulls and sucks a bit of that paint up. And it leaves what we call a bathtub ring. Traditionally in miniature painting, these were considered very, very negative things. You don't want bathtub rings. But sometimes you use imperfection as a weapon. That's the new name of my autobiography, Weaponized Imperfection. And we're going to maybe he's got some liver spots. Just kind of do the same thing. That one was a mess up. But this just gives him some texture and life that you can't do on a normal miniature. Gives some visual interest to that giant. You have this big, beautiful canvas, right? So use it to your advantage. I want to get to the Kirby Crackle too, but I'm fighting here. Do you want eyes or Kirby Crackle, kids? You get one today. And then you're probably never going to see this M.O.D.O.K again because this is technically Shix. Love me some freckles. Have they voted yet? Vote? Look, if we got time, we'll do both, but I don't think we got time. I think Summer and BK will kick me off. Grungy tea. Kirby Crackle eyes. I think Summer is even less bribable than I. But I can tell you right now, I am unbribable. Off-white. I love his little angry squint. Secret to painting eyes, paint them black. Off-white over top of black, leaving just a slight sliver of black showing. If you feel like you've never succeeded painting eyes, paint M.O.D.O.K. Oh, giving away the secret of my hugs. Do another layer, smooth it out. Nice even coat. Do you know how many meetings I have today? I can't do them both. Gonna be late to meetings. Got a Marco meeting. Just over here painting the white of an eye on a giant head. Alright, what are we doing? Nobody's choosing anything, so I'm gonna just paint some highlights on some teeth. That's what I'm gonna do now. It's too bright. I need to turn it down. What are the options? You get eyes, or you can do Kirby crackle on the forehead. What you gotta choose between? Forehead, forehead, forehead. Okay, off-white. We need an ink. Let's do red. Let's do red ink. Let's find a red ink. Not orange. Where's all my oranges at? Hate it when I lose my oranges. Okay, if you didn't vote, I don't want to hear about it. You lost out. That giant blob of white right in the middle is killing me. I need that blacked out because, man, that just looks so much better when you frame those out. Cleans it up. Okay, so let's do a little orange. We need a little yellow to go in that orange. Oh, that needs to be shaken. Gonna do a quick coat. Gotta let that dry. Need a little blue. So when you're painting eyes, you don't want typically white to be visual around the pupil because that makes you look crazy. So you want the pupil to touch the black line on top and bottom. You gotta make sure to look in the same direction. Mess up. You can go back and fix it. Painting miniatures is a fine art of correcting one's mistakes. Paint needs to be pretty wet. The camera angle's not. We need to move that camera over just a little bit. Let me rotate just a touch. I want to kick up the blue in that. We need like a really good blue. Add a little off-white to that. I know I got a little bit on that lower eyelid. That's Pure black paint. It's gotta dry. Clean up the lower eyelid. George Tarleton, what happened to you? A very watery red. What do you think? How do we do? He needs some chapstick. Look, you can't judge M.O.D.O.K. Oh, he's totally judging you with that pointing finger for sure. He is such a beautiful lad, such a handsome man, such a dapper fella coming to town to say hello to you. All right, I'm gonna do this one last touch, and then we gotta go. Summer's standing up in her chair. That's when I know you mean business. So I think that's not bad. 1 hour on the face, just having a good time. Yeah, old blue eyes Sinatra look. Yeah, I think you could crisp those up just a little bit more. Overall, pretty happy with the face. I think it could kick the contrast, but I really like that like desaturated, like almost sickly M.O.D.O.K is sort of an interesting take on him. I think there's lots of directions you can go with M.O.D.O.K. So really provides a lot of opportunities for painters and such to explore. So really overall happy. Lucky Schick gets to own this. I'm just gonna, it's his M.O.D.O.K. I painted the face. He can have it. He can finish it up. So, all right, are you ready? Are we back here? We're doing this already? Oh, killing me. All right, remember every Tuesday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can join us here at Twitch for Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. We hang out, we paint, and then the third week of every month, we play games, and that's really fun. But if you want all the latest news, information, and announcements coming from Atomic Mass Games about all of our wonderful games, you should check us out over on Twitter and or Instagram. I do love Instagram. There's a lot of good content there. Boom. Just go check that out over on Instagram. We put up really cool pictures. I mean, we do it on Twitter too. So you can check us out there for all the latest news, information, announcement. So until next time, or till tomorrow, I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be finishing up our, maybe not finishing, final transmission about my faux worthy entry, my Spider-Man versus Green Goblin. You should check that out. Come ask questions about the worthy and just talk about Adepticon. So until then, we'll see you later. Go be the hero you want to be, and goodbye. Now it's time to go to a meeting with BK, but not really a meeting. I think we're just going to go and hang out and high five. Bam.